Good evening and welcome. I am Lorianne Richardson, President and CEO of the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce. On behalf, thank you. Thank you. Aw. Thank you. And on behalf of the Chamber and the City of Millbrae, thank you for joining us tonight, especially with the NBA playoff games going on. And we have a little graduation over at Taylor Middle School as well, so there are some folks still over there. I'd like to start by telling you a little about this Chamber's Student Ambassador Scholarship Program. Every year, the Chamber selects 2 local high school students to participate in the program. The student ambassadors serve a term of 1 year, and during that time, they come to Chamber board meetings, help with Chamber events, and manage a team of student volunteers for the Millbrae Art and Wine Festival. At the end of their term of service, each Chamber student ambassador receives a monetary scholarship award. So right now, it's my pleasure to introduce our 2 brand new Chamber student ambassadors who will then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please welcome Elena Wang, an incoming senior from Mills High School. Elena. And Jennifer Zhang. Jennifer Zhang is also an incoming senior at Mills. Thank you, girls. And if you'll please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. So Millbrae held its first official State of the City address in 1998. That was in conjunction with the city's 50th anniversary celebration. The Millbrae Chamber of Commerce hosted that very first State of the City, making this the 17th annual Millbrae State of the City address. Our city staff works hard every day, led by hardworking city manager Marcia Raines, who's with us tonight. And you know, it takes a lot of dedication and it takes a lot of hard work to make Millbrae the kind of place that we all love to call home. Well, right now I'd like to introduce my members of the Chamber Board of Directors who are with us this evening, starting with our Chair of the Board, Miss Mary Lou Edwards of Provident Credit Union. Mary Lou. First Vice Chair, Mary Ellen Pellegrini of Coldwell Banker. Second Vice Chair, Maria Jack of Trans-Pacific National Bank. Director Bart Spiesha of 110-220 Electric Company. Thank you for coming. If there are any board members here that I didn't mention, please raise your hands. So our market manager, Jim Barrett, sent his regrets. He did plan on coming. The Millbrae Farmers Market is every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the 200 block of Broadway, and Jim does a great job running that for us. So now it's time to thank our sponsors this evening. First of all, we have the Magnolia of Millbrae, whose Director of Marketing, Miss Sherry Planbeck, that most of you know. Sherry reminds me every year that the Magnolia of Millbrae wants to sponsor State of the City again. She wants to make sure that we do not leave her out of that opportunity. So we really thank Sherry and the Magnolia of Millbrae for their ongoing support. And South San Francisco Scavenger Company, I want to give special thanks to our former Chamber Board member, South City Scavenger President, Doug Button. Doug always graciously and very enthusiastically wants to sponsor the State of the City. And finally, a special thanks to Walgreens. The Walgreens on Broadway donated the beverages that you see here this evening. And they have done that for several years now, and we're certainly very appreciative. Oh, and special thanks to Walgreens' new district manager, Chris Benson, who was our former board chair of the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce, was just made district manager of Walgreens. And he is the one who signed off on this donation, so thank you. So the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce has been an integral part of Millbrae for 66 years now. Since 1949, our members have represented a wide range of retail and home-based businesses, community groups, organizations, nonprofits, and Millbrae residents as well. Through active promotion of the community and its business sector, the Chamber helps ensure that Millbrae remains a great place to live, work, and play. So now it's time to introduce our keynote speaker of the evening. Robert Gottschalk was first elected to the Millbrae City Council in 2001. He served on City Council from 2001 to 2009, then again from 2011 to present. That makes this his 12th year serving on City Council. Mayor Gottschalk is a graduate of San Jose State University. He received his Juris Doctor from Hastings College of Law and his MBA in Finance from UC Berkeley. Mayor Gottschalk has his own law practice here in Millbrae for the past 15 years. He's been right here. You see him walking around downtown quite often and greeting everyone, which is very nice. And he also worked in the banking industry for 21 years. 11 of those were at Crocker National Bank, where he was the vice president of the trust department. Mayor Gottschalk also retired as captain from the U.S. Navy Reserves after 26 years of service. Mayor Gottschalk has been a very active member of the Rotary Club of Millbrae, as most of you know, for 15 years now. He also served on the Community Preservation Committee and the Peninsula Traffic Congestion Relief Alliance Board, which thankfully is now known simply as commute.org. And amongst his many, many other accomplishments, too numerous to read, the mayor served on the County Emergency Services Council, the Board of County Ambulance and EMS Service, the Association of Bay Area Governments, San Mateo County Transportation Authority Citizens Advisory Committee, the Board of Directors of the San Mateo County Library System, and he was co-chairman of the committee that raised the $10.6 million bond for our new library. Mayor Gottschalk was also chairman of the Sister Cities Commission, and he spent time on our Millbrae Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors as well. Right now, he serves as our city liaison, so we get to see quite a bit of him. And finally, Mayor Gottschalk led the effort and signed the Friendship City Agreement with Kaiping, China in 2009. He also signed the Friendship City Agreement with Hanyu, Japan in 2014. And he has traveled to China 5 times between 2006 and 2015. So without any further ado, would you please welcome the Honorable Robert G. Gottschalk, Mayor of Millbrae.
Well, thank you, Lorianne. Got more than I need here. Well, good evening. Welcome and thank you all for joining me here tonight as we discuss the state of the city, celebrate our accomplishments, and look ahead at our goals for the coming year. Now, several months ago, when I selected this date for the State of the City address, I had no reason to expect that I would be competing against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and the Warriors. And the 4th game, as you know, begins just a few minutes ago, so we're counting on their winning tonight. Also, before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce for once again hosting this annual State of the City event. And thank you to Lorianne personally. Also, reinforce our appreciation for the sponsors, Magnolia of Millbrae, South San Francisco Scavenger Company, and Walgreens. And thank you also to MCTV for recording and replaying this event several times in the future. I'd also like to take a moment to introduce and acknowledge some dignitaries who are with us tonight. And please, if you can, hold your applause. Firstly, we're very pleased to have County Supervisor Dave Pine, Vice Mayor Anna Leva, Councilmember Marge Colapietro, Councilmember Ruben Holliver, Councilmember Wayne Lee, City Manager Marsha Raines, Mark Hirschman representing Senator Jerry Hill, and also our former mayor. We've got Mary Vela Tressler, our former treasurer, with us tonight. Mark Nogales representing Congressman Jackie Spears' office, and the Honorable Consul of Malta, Mr. Louis Vela. So please welcome them all. Very glad to have you all here. I'm pleased to be able to report to you tonight that the state of the city is strong. It's hard to believe, as Lorianne said, that I've had the honor of serving on this city council for some 12 years with a 2-year break. Prior to that, I served 3 years as a Community Preservation Commission member, and I've been involved in the city affairs for a while. So I've seen a lot of changes in our great city over the years. You've probably seen the city's new logo that we created this past year. The new logo symbolizes that Millbrae has, quote, grown up since the middle of the 20th century when our city was founded. The world's not the same as it was nearly 7 decades ago, and Millbrae has evolved to adapt. We were once a bedroom community, a good place in the suburbs to settle down and raise a family. We're still that small town community that's safe and has great schools. But we've also modernized to meet the needs of the 21st century. A growing population, an aging population, a modernized transit system, a growing awareness of the need to protect our environment, multiculturalism, technological advances. These are some of the changes that Millbrae has experienced since 1948 when we were incorporated. So these events have challenged us to retain the best of the old while adapting to meet the needs of the new. This has meant doing things such as creating mixed-use pedestrian and transit-oriented developments with housing, transit, and shops in close proximity. Focusing new development in the downtown and along El Camino Real, while keeping the charm of our single-family homes and open spaces. Incorporating new technology and ways of doing business for the city to be more efficient and effective. And fostering connections with people from different cultures and distant lands. As a result of these initiatives and more, in our city, you'll find beautiful single-family homes along tranquil, tree-lined streets, but as well as a thriving mixed-use, pedestrian-oriented downtown. We enjoy top-rated schools and leadership in sustainability programs. Millbrae can boast that we have both one of the lowest crime rates and unemployment rates in the state, and yet we have the largest multimodal transit hub west of the Mississippi River, which I think is about 1,700 miles to the east. So as a result, we have the best of the old and the best of the new. Millbrae has adapted, and we will continue to adapt. Now, one of the ways that all cities have needed to adapt over the last decade is learning how to do more with less. We're all familiar with the belt tightening that cities across the state have done over the past decade in response to the recent recession. Millbrae's worked hard for more than a decade to cut costs, streamline operations, improve efficiencies, reduce our head count. In fact, the number of employees in the city is about half of what it was when I came on board in 2001. All with very intelligent means of saving money, but continuing great services. Seeking grant funding, increasing revenue from economic development. The city's efforts to become financially strong are coming to fruition. Significant gains in property taxes and transit occupancy taxes or hotel taxes over the past 3 years, combined with numerous cost-saving measures and continuation of the fire assessment, have resulted in a healthy general fund with a projected ending emergency reserve fund balance of almost $12 million in fiscal year 15-16. This stronger financial position will allow the city to address several unfunded liabilities and capital needs. In fact, last year, the city's debt rating service, Standard & Poor's, upgraded the city's general obligation bond rating to AA+ from AA, citing strong city management and our budgetary prudence with the city's financial resources. So I'd like particularly to acknowledge and thank our city manager, Marcia Raines, for her leadership over the past 6.5 years. She's obviously helped so much to bring our city to this important point today. While our city's leadership sets the policy and the direction and makes the decisions that directly affect the budget, it's our finance department that implements policies and procedures to manage the city's finances. This past year, our finance team refinanced our outstanding 2005 tax allocation bonds to reduce the interest we pay on the bonds, saving the city money. This coming year, they'll be looking at ways to refine our annual budget process, moving to a 2-year budget, as well as establishing an irrevocable trust for our retiree health obligations. For the 20th year in a row, our finance department was awarded the prestigious Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for the city's comprehensive annual financial report, which we call CAFR. Despite our improved financial position, we still need to continue to strategically plan our finances to reach our ultimate goals of retaining financial sustainability for years to come, paying off the city's debt obligations, and proactively funding our capital improvement needs. As part of our evolution of a city, we've streamlined the building department development review process for some commercial uses and single-family homes. The streamlined process will enable our Community Development Department and Planning Commission to better serve our customers with a more efficient and faster review process that focuses on priorities rather than on details. Now, more decisions will be made at the building department counter and staff level, so we cut down on the number of times the Planning Commission needs to review a proposal. Yes, we've worked at improvement of the process, and we believe our community will benefit. Economic development is an important goal to diversify our economic base and bring much-needed tax revenue to our city. This is the City Council's and the city's top goal again this year and going forward. It became especially important 3 years ago when the state did away with our redevelopment agency, removing an important source of funding for new development. As many of you know, the city developed a detailed economic development plan 2 years ago, outlining short-term and long-term actions we can take to attract and retain businesses here. One of the things we're currently working on is developing marketing tools to promote our city both locally and internationally. When a business is looking to build or to open an office or to expand, we want them to think about Millbrae. We want them to know that we've primed space near our multimodal transit hub, that we have a mix of housing, hotels, great schools, and an educated population, that we're centrally located near a major international airport and thriving Silicon Valley and Bay Area businesses. We're also near to Stanford, University of California, Berkeley, and other fine universities. The 2 major shipping ports of Oakland and San Francisco are nearby. So Millbrae is a great location for a company headquarters, a regional headquarters, high-tech, R&D, biotech, or transportation headquarters. And we're blessed with favorable weather. So over the coming year, we will continue to implement economic development strategies, including working to form a business improvement district to fund special projects benefiting the downtown. We're going to do more to promote the positive stories in Millbrae, so more people will know what makes our city so special. We'll be working more closely with the local media, newspapers, and electronic media to highlight our success stories and share what we are doing to meet modern-day challenges. We'll also be updating our website and installing a new digital sign to replace the existing sign on Highway 101 visible from the freeway. I mentioned one way the city has evolved over the past 2 decades is focusing new development on the downtown near the multimodal transit station. The city has the Millbrae Station Area Specific Plan that's used to guide development of the 116 acres of land located in the southeastern corner of the city near the BART and Caltrain stations over the coming years. The area surrounding the transit station is targeted for mixed-use, pedestrian-friendly, transit-oriented development. You'll see some renditions up here. The city has received already two new proposals from BART and Millbrae Sarah Station LLC for mixed-use transit-oriented developments in the BART area, which has triggered the need to update the specific plan. We've been working on the update as well as a draft environmental impact report to evaluate expected impacts and recommended ways to mitigate these impacts. The project is moving ahead, and beginning on June 30th, we'll be having a series of meetings to gather public input on the revised plan and the draft EIR. We welcome your feedback and involvement in the process. This work will continue into the coming fiscal year, and as soon as we can, we shall complete the updates to the plan and begin processing applications for development within the plan area. Another significant task for the coming year is to begin the process of updating the city's general plan. As you know, the general plan guides future development and policies in the city and serves as a basis for decisions that affect Millbrae's growth and development. We look at things like transportation, land use, streets and infrastructure, parks, housing and neighborhoods, recreation and community facilities, downtown, the environment, and public health and safety. Updating the plan is a significant undertaking and is normally done every 15 years. Please be on the lookout for how you can get involved and provide feedback to shape our city's future in that process. Our police department continues to provide outstanding service to the community since consolidating with the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office 3 years ago. Millbrae remains a safe place to live with a low crime rate and rapid emergency response times. One way our police force is responding even more quickly is through our new bicycle patrols. You might have seen some of our policemen and women around town on bikes, patrolling the Spur Trail, Meadows Park, and downtown. Not only can they respond more quickly, but it helps them to be more engaged with our community, more approachable, and obviously serves as a visible deterrent to crime. Over the past few years, the Police Bureau has allocated more resources to increase traffic enforcement with good results. And the Sheriff's Office will continue to work with the city to identify ways to improve traffic and pedestrian safety. Our police department always places a high priority on forging positive partnerships with the community, especially our youth, to make a difference in people's lives. The Sheriff's Activity League has many programs that support this goal, including STAR, the Sheriff's Training and Recreation Camp. This is a week-long camp serving students from all over the county and staffed by high school kids, including our own Mills High School students who serve as student leaders. National Night Out, lunchtime soccer at schools, and movie nights in our Central Park are just some of the other youth events hosted by our Sheriff's Office. Over the coming year, the Police Bureau will further enhance program with our local schools through community policing and via the Sheriff's Activities League. Building on the success of the police department consolidation with the sheriff, this past year our fire department consolidated with the Central County Fire Department. The consolidation follows 3 years of careful planning and community input, with the goal of maintaining high-quality fire services while significantly reducing costs. The Millbrae community can expect to continue to receive high-quality services, including emergency medical response, fire suppression, rescue, fire prevention and investigation, and community education. 19 Millbrae Fire personnel were integrated into the Central County Fire Department, now serving across all 3 cities of Burlingame, Hillsborough, and Millbrae, and the 6 stations that the department staffs. I know we have some community members here tonight who participated in the Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT, training program, either this year or in the past, and you play an important role in keeping our community safe and prepared for emergencies. And most of all, a very big thank you to our community for reaffirming your support for high-quality fire and safety services by approving a 10-year extension of our fire suppression assessment last year. The fire assessment has a critical role in helping the city to maintain fiscal health and sustainability. Despite the city's ongoing efforts to increase efficiency and cut costs, we would still have faced a very severe budget shortfall without the fire assessment. Over the coming year, the fire department will continue to pursue further efficiencies and cost savings without sacrificing service. So now I'd like to move on to our Public Works Department, which manages the bricks and mortar to keep things operating smoothly in our city. For years during the recession and the initial recovery period, we had a long list of capital improvement projects that needed to be done, but we did not have the money to attack them. Our aging streets, storm drains, water and sewer systems, some of these things that we take for granted but are essential to the health and well-being of our daily lives, are getting old and falling into the state of disrepair. Now that the economy has begun to improve, some funds have become available to begin work on our capital improvement needs. This past fiscal year, we planned $14 million in funding to work on more than 80 projects. While this might sound like a lot, it's actually not nearly enough. We still have almost $90 million more in capital improvements needs that must be addressed over the next 5 years, just in that 5-year period alone, and of course with recurring annual costs after that. So funding for these remaining and significant capital improvement needs will be challenging. Nonetheless, we have launched our initiatives. Highlights of our work include completing over 5 miles of street repairs last October to minimize water intrusion into the subsurface on streets including Hillcrest Boulevard, Millbrae Avenue, and others. These repairs are part of a long list of street repairs needed throughout the city. The city has updated its street inspection database and prioritized the next streets designated for repair in the next few years as funding allows. We've also replaced over 5,000 feet of pipes in our sewer mains this past March and completed a project to address the infiltration of groundwater and rainwater into the sanitary sewer collection system. We replaced play structures at 3 parks, painted several city buildings, and coated the digester at the water treatment plant. I always keep hoping that they would change the name of that from digester to something else, but I digress. To extend its life and to continue to produce gas for cogeneration at the treatment plant, which employs restaurant grease turned into electric power for running the plant. On the horizon for the upcoming fiscal year are projects to replace about 11,000 feet of water main and to begin installation of our dramatic new city entrance and wayfinding signs so visitors can find their way around Millbrae even better. We will coordinate upcoming infrastructure projects with street repair projects to increase efficiency and minimize impact to residents and businesses. Over the next year, we will also be increasing our wastewater rates. Rates have remained the same for the last 5 years, but in order to cover current and future operational and capital costs, rates will need to increase. The increase in rates will help fund a $34 million capital improvements project needed to the wastewater collection and treatment system to prevent sanitary sewer overflows and maintain compliance with the Federal Clean Water Act. So these are a few of the many important projects our Public Works Department will engage over the coming year. They will have their hands full, as usual. Now, we often talk about Millbrae as our place in the sun. Now, our residents have an opportunity to put that sunshine to good use, generating electricity. The city has recently joined 12 neighboring cities in the county to offer solar panels at a discount for homeowners through a program called Peninsula Sun Shares. It makes good economic and environmental sense, and if you haven't already looked into it, I encourage you to do so. Peninsula Sun Shares. Millbrae has long been recognized as a leader in sustainability. In keeping with that tradition, last month the city installed its first electrical vehicle charging station for public use at the library, right out there. I'm excited about it, as it's a small but symbolic step to cutting emissions of climate-altering gas. We have plans to install a second such station in the downtown area this summer. Having a station close to merchants, restaurants, and other services will encourage local residents and visitors to stay downtown a bit longer while their vehicles are being charged. Also, during the next few weeks, we will gather to celebrate the installation of energy-saving LED lights in our palm trees on Broadway. The LED lights will use less energy than the previous lights, allowing the palm trees to remain lit during more times of the year. And for those who anticipated a ceremony on Broadway at 7:30 this evening, I apologize, but we've determined it might be better to schedule that for a later date. There's a serious drought going on into the 4th year. California's precipitation and snowpacks are at the lowest levels in recorded history. Each of us is asked to do our part to help the new state regulations to cut water use statewide by 25%. Last year, the city adopted water conservation regulations, and effective June 1st of this year, we've added additional requirements. Notices were received by some of us in the mail yesterday. People are prohibited from watering their landscapes when it rains or within 48 hours after rain. Watering can only take place twice a week on certain days, depending on whether your address is an odd or an even numbers, and between the hours of 6 p.m. and 10 a.m. We all have to make sure that water, when we do use it, does not cause runoff or flooding in the gutters, driveways, or streets. Hoses must have shut-off valves, and you can't hose off sidewalks, buildings, or other hard surfaces. Customers, of course, are required to repair leaks. The city no longer can water public street medians with potable water, and restaurants can only serve drinking water upon a request. We're accustomed to some of these already. These are just some of the new rules in effect. The city will continue offering rebates for high efficiency toilets and washers, and will work with businesses and residents to help us all succeed in meeting the conservation requirements. Truly, we have no choice, and we're all in this together. We're also doing our part to save trees by moving toward paperless processes and management systems in our administrative offices. Another topic you'll be hearing more about in the near future is the threat of sea level rise and the damage it is predicted to cause along the Pacific coastline and the edges of San Francisco Bay. In fact, San Mateo County stands to to suffer more damage than any other area in the state of California. Dave Pine has been taking the lead on this issue for quite some time. Studies have been and are currently being conducted based upon a permanent rise in the water level anywhere from 16 inches to perhaps as much as 55 inches above where it is now permanently over the next 35 to 85 years. In Millbrae, the Weston, the Aloft, the water treatment plant, the BART station, and quite a number of other assets stand only a few feet above the current water line as it is and are at risk. SFO and many assets in our neighboring cities also are threatened. The threat can only be countered by united effort by most of the cities in the county, and it must be accomplished with funds from the state and federal governments. So we need to find a way to work together to get that kind of support that we can't muster on our own resources. One of the benefits of modern technology is the world has become much more interconnected over the past several decades. The internet, coupled with unprecedented travel opportunities and open trade, has seemingly melted away distant borders and brought people of different cultures together like never before. Millbrae reflects the multiculturalism of our times. In the past few months, we were pleased to host several international delegations, one of which was a trade delegation from Dongguan, China. Many of our residents trace their roots back to this part of the world. I've traveled to China several times, and I know they want to do more business with us. Dongguan is one of the most important economic zones in China and a city of more than 8 million people. I was very pleased we were able to have the opportunity to begin a dialogue about how to expand investment and cultural exchange between our communities. A similar group of officials and business people from Zhongshan, China, also visited us, as well as investors from Zhuhai, near Hong Kong. Another international delegation we hosted was a group of guests from the Korean Institute of Criminology. Our guests had the opportunity to tour our police department and learn more about how we promote public safety in our community. We also enjoyed a visit by the Speaker of House of Representatives from our sister city, Malta, located in the island of Malta in the Mediterranean. So these types of exchanges strengthen Millbrae's ties and connection to people from various cultures around the world. Recognizing that we are a diverse and multicultural community, we make an ongoing effort to listen to what the public has to say and to serve residents from all walks of life. An example is the very successful healthcare fair that we held late last year to get the word out about opportunities to sign up for affordable healthcare through Covered California. The city partnered with schools, churches, hospitals, the county, and private sector vendors to host this event, providing information in multiple languages as how to get enrolled in the program. Another successful partnership between our recreation department and the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club offers engaging after-school and summer activities for middle school youth at the Millbrae Community Youth Center over the past 2 years. This program has been a great success, with high levels of participation year-round in a variety of sports, recreational, and educational activities. And we work with the Millbrae School District to ensure that the needs of the district students are reflected in the program offerings. Our recreation department continues to share use of Millbrae's athletic fields with various community groups, including Millbrae Girls Softball Association, Lions Baseball, American Youth Soccer Organization, Bay Sox, and the North Cal Padres. And of course, all the field users have seasonal schedules and standard user agreements. There's no doubt that the quality of life for our community members is greatly enhanced by the programs and activities offered by our recreation department. From the senior luncheons and youth sports to summer camps, well-utilized parks, open space trails, the Recreation Department is instrumental in providing opportunities for social enrichment and healthy outdoor play. Over the coming fiscal year, we will be developing a strategic plan to support the reorganization of the Recreation Department and to improve its overall efficiency. We will also strengthen our process for outsourcing special events to community organizations, foundations, and private companies, and so that more activities, events, and community functions may be enjoyed as a result of a broader base of support and involvement. The city would not be able to do and to accomplish all that we do without our many partners and volunteers throughout the community. On behalf of all the city council members and city staff, I'd like to acknowledge and extend our very sincere thanks to the many of you who volunteer to make our community a better place. By initiating, organizing, staffing, and conducting a wide variety of activities, you contribute greatly to the welfare of us all, and we're deeply indebted to you for your service and selflessness. So it's been a privilege to share in the evolution of our city and to help shape what it has become today. I look forward to continuing the journey with you, with each of you, as the city continues to adapt to meet the ever-changing needs of the 21st century. So now let us all go out and continue to enjoy living and working in this, our cherished city. And I wish everyone fair winds and following seas. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Mayor Gottschalk. I think we all learned a lot of very nice things tonight, and we're looking forward to that bright future that Millbrae definitely has. And so the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce, as always, will continue to work with the city to help our local economy thrive. And I don't want to go on at length, but I have a few thank yous to make before we adjourn tonight. And first of all, I'd like to thank our Chamber student ambassadors. I think maybe Elena, I know, had somewhere she had to be, but Elena Wang and Jennifer Zhang for their help with the Pledge of Allegiance tonight and their help with the registration area and setup. They're both part of the Millbrae Leos team tonight, so we look forward to working with them as our student ambassadors as well. And a thank you to Leo's project director, Bonnie Lee, is deserved. And we would like to give another big thank you to our event sponsors, Magnolia of Millbrae, South San Francisco Scavenger Company, and Walgreens for their generous support. And finally, our thanks to MCTV for taping tonight's event, and that's Dennis Zhang back there on camera, for those of you who know Dennis from the Leos Club. So thank you for that. You can check MCTV cable channel 27 to find out when this program will air. You can also go to watch the video on demand at mctv.tv. And special thank you to, of course, General Manager Andy Pittman for putting this taping together for us. So last, I'd like to remind you to please visit this year's Millbrae Art and Wine Festival, which takes place on September 5th and 6th this year. It'll be 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days, and it's going to be another great festival. Well, that concludes our evening. Thank you all for making time for us tonight. The game is maybe still going. I don't know. Anyone know the score? But go ahead and have some more food and refreshments if you'd like. And if anyone wants to take home one of those lovely flower arrangements, please do so. So thank you and good night.